The point of this story really is that I am, among other things, an idiot. Hey, disclaimer up front, this story has a little bit of medical stuff in it. If that's triggering to any of you, medical, surgical sort of conversation, tune out. Fight or flight? The age-old question. I'm somebody who tends to be pretty jumpy. When I get startled, I'll be, and so I thought maybe I was a flight. But I am not. If I see a problem, I'm gonna fight it. This is not always good. Sometimes it can be hard to be my friend. I just fight things a lot. One time we were on an airplane, and it was an international flight going somewhere, and there were some people sitting in front of us, and they had a boy, a son. And I don't know how old he was, 5, whatever. He would lean over the back of the seat to where we were sitting and just checking us out. So whatever, fine, I don't mind a spectator. But my daughters were playing with some toy on the little tray table. He was reaching up over the back of the seat. He was like, I want that toy. I could see it in his eyes. He didn't say it with his words, but I saw it on his face. And I saw him plotting, and he was stretching his body, trying to get, so he got where he could he about to snatch this toy. I was not gonna have that. So this kid, who I don't know, he reaches down to grab the toy, and I grab his arm. I don't know that I did it that forcefully, but I'm sure to a child it seemed forceful. I was like, He wasn't using his words. I didn't use my words either. I just used my eyes and my grip. No, this is not happening. I let him go. He jerked back, didn't come back around. I mostly forgot about it until months later. We had to take another flight, and my daughter Journey, so young at the time, we were getting on the plane. She's like, well, I hope there's no other kids sitting around us. And I was like, why? She goes, remember when you attacked that boy? I didn't attack anybody. I stopped a theft, okay? He was trying to snatch something, and I snatched before he could snatch. This is how I engage a lot of times with problems. Not always wise. I was living in Honduras. I was visiting Ashley there. We weren't yet we had been dating. Now we weren't dating. It's a long story in the saga of our relationship. Anyway, I was there. I was doing some work. A lot of the work that I was doing was manual labor. I was painting stuff, digging ditches, and leveling out floors and that kind of thing. I was also at that time very thin, the thinnest I had ever been. Okay, I had been living in Bolivia prior to that, not eating a whole lot and sweating a whole lot. I was just running out of money. I showed up in Honduras. Ashley met me there and did not recognize me. She said, I look like Skeletor. I said, no, this is I look European. I think my face looks pretty good. She said, it doesn't. And she started shoving hamburgers in my mouth. Working outside, work with my hands a lot, didn't weigh a whole lot. And I realized at some point that there was something wrong with my body. Okay. Now, the way I'm going to describe it is like this. Slightly below my waist, it seemed like there was some sort of other creature living within my intestines. I would lay down flat on my back and be fine, but when I sat up or stood up, I would look down at where my stomach and my waist went, and something popped out. But then it would go away. Something popping out and going away. And I'm thinking, what is living inside of my intestines? Do I have some kind of worm? I've been living in Bolivia. Now I'm living in Honduras. I wasn't living in the cleanest places. I wasn't eating well. I had read stories about, worms, but really I don't know anything about that, okay? So what it looks like to me is there is a creature that is inhabiting my intestines. I do a few experiments. I lay down on my back. I sit up. It'll pop out, it'll go away, and I'm like, what is popping out of my body? What is this little nub? It's hard to describe without getting graphic. The thing is, I felt like there was a creature inside of me, okay? I'm like, this body ain't big enough for the two of us, okay? I'm gonna fight it. So what I did, just thinking if, there's some sort of creature alive in my intestines, what I should do is I should kill it. So the best way I knew to do that was to punch it. I started punching myself real hard, like right about in the hip bone. Bam, bam, bam. I was like, I'm gonna kill it. Guys, I had been outside a lot. I hadn't been eating well. I was very thin. I think just I didn't have enough oxygen going to my brain, because obviously there was not a creature in my intestines. And if there was, no one would think that the right way to get it out is to punch it, okay? But I did that. This is not made up. I literally punched myself real hard. And this was a bad idea because what turned out was I had a hernia. What a hernia is there's a weakening of the walls, the stomach muscles, and then the intestines will poke out. And so what I was punching was my actual intestines. The reason it's dangerous is because if the muscle actually tears, you know, the intestines get caught in there. I don't want to get graphic, but that's dangerous. That's real bad. So the worst thing I could do is punch myself in the hernia. This is all true. I don't mind telling you this because I know I'm not stupid, but I have done stupid things. I don't know what I was thinking, but I almost was hurt real bad. Punching it, needless to say, did not work. So what I did after I fought it was I decided to bring some other people into the conversation. I was like, hey, what is this? Is it a worm? Is there a creature living in me? They're like, you must be joking. I was like, ha, yeah, that's right. I didn't punch it. And they said, you have a hernia, man. You got to go to the doctor. When I got back from Honduras, schedule a thing. I had to get mesh. They do this, like, whatever, mesh. You go in, like, through your belly button. I don't know. I didn't look into it. They just said, hey, we're going to put some mesh in. Do you have any questions? I was like, nah, sounds good. Whatever. Then I'm in there. They're like, okay, it's time for the medicine. You're not going to remember anything after this. I said, cool. Put it in there. I have, like, one strange memory of like a bright light over my face, and I'm thinking, oh no, am I awake? That's the only thing I remember. Then I wake up, you're good, everything's fine. Just you need to pee before you leave, as otherwise we can't discharge you. Anytime someone's had a catheter, they have to use the bathroom by themselves before they can leave. And I said, oh, I didn't have a catheter. And the nurse was like, well, yeah, because I just took it out, so you did. This whole story, I think, is gonna make y'all question my IQ. Which is fine. If someone asks you, if you're fight or flight, this is the bar that you can measure it against. Have you ever punched yourself in the hernia? I wish I could remember what I was thinking because now it seems really dumb. But at the time, it must have seemed like the right thing. I was like, what else am I gonna do? There's something else in here. I gotta punch it. Now, if there's anything to be learned from the story, it's this, okay? Fight or flight. If you're a fight person out there, if something goes wrong in your body, don't punch it. That's not the solution. Other problems, you might need a punch. Somebody try to steal your kid's stuff. There's nothing wrong grabbing that arm and be like, but don't punch your hernia.